just subscribe below, and if you enjoy this story, please leave a comment and give it a thumbs up as well. So I hope you enjoy this story.
I'm Dan Jones, and this is a story from my book Relaxing Tales for Children, which is available in Kindle or paperback. Saving Prince Charming. As you close your eyes, I'm going to tell you the story about Cindy and her unicorn Oracle. And with your eyes closed, you can listen to me reading this story. While I read this story, you can begin to feel relaxed. And as I read, you can imagine this story in your mind. One day when Cindy was out riding on her unicorn Oracle in a meadow far from the palace she lived in, she heard a noise coming from the woodland running alongside the edge of the meadow. "Come on, Oracle, let's see what's happening," Cindy said. Cindy nudged Oracle gently in the sides with her feet, causing Oracle to neigh and start cantering through the meadow towards the woodland. As they reached the woodland, Oracle slowed down to a trot before stopping a short distance from the edge of the trees. "Help, help," a distressed young male voice called out. Between the trees, Cindy could see a boy being taken deep into the woods by a dragon. It looked like the prince who lived in the castle a short ride from the meadow. His name was Joe, although Cindy liked to call him Prince Charming because she liked his floppy blonde hair. Cindy didn't know what to do. She was just a small girl. She couldn't rescue the prince. Luckily for Cindy, Oracle had the ability to see into both the future and the past. Cindy had an idea. She turned Oracle around and cantered off to the other side of the meadow, where she knew they wouldn't be seen. From here, she told Oracle that she wanted to see into the future. She wanted to see what was going to happen to the prince and where he was being taken. Cindy placed her hand firmly on Oracle's neck, touching his hair, closed her eyes, and focused. She could feel warmth as a bright white light formed around Oracle and herself. She focused on the warm light passing down through her body, entering her head, down into her shoulders and arms, then into her body, and finally down into her legs and feet. As the white light passed gently down through her body, Cindy felt more comfortable and relaxed, and she started to count backwards in her mind from 10 to 9, 8, 7, 6. With each number she said, she felt even more relaxed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Once she had counted to 1, she began to see things in her imagination. She began to see the prince being taken by the dragon deep into the woods to a hidden cave. There was a waterfall in the cave with a secret opening behind the waterfall. The dragon took the prince into the secret cave and placed him up high on a ledge from where he was unable to climb down. Cindy looked further into the future to find out how she could save the prince. She saw a few opportunities where she might be able to sneak in and get into the secret cave. She could see that the dragon would leave the cave for a while and fly away. This was her chance to help. It isn't every day you get to rescue a prince, she thought to herself. After Cindy saw what she needed to see, she opened her eyes, nudged Oracle gently in the sides, and he cantered up into the air on a cloud of light. They rode over the woodland until they were above the cave Cindy had seen in her imagination. She steered Oracle down towards the ground a short distance from the cave so that she could sneak quietly in and rescue the prince. Once on the ground, Cindy crept along, keeping low behind the trees. She knew the dragon wasn't in the cave at the moment, but she was still worried he may return sooner than expected. Once in the cave, Cindy lit a torch and ran over to the waterfall. To get into the secret cave behind the waterfall, Cindy had to climb up the wet and slippery rocks. She clung on as tight as she could and scratched her legs on the rocks as she climbed. It was very hard work, but she managed it. Once she entered the secret cave, she lit another torch. The cave walls sparkled in its dim light. Cindy could see the prince up on the ledge. The prince noticed Cindy and went to call down to her. "Shh," Cindy said. "I'm here to rescue you." "But how?" "What if the dragon comes back?" the prince replied. "I know what I'm doing. We need to be quick." Cindy found a tree trunk. She knew it would reach the prince, but she wasn't strong enough to move it over and up to the ledge. There were some long vines in the cave. Suddenly, Cindy had a plan. She grabbed the vines and threw them up to the prince. He then lowered them down to her, keeping tight hold of one end. When she grabbed the other end, Cindy tied it to the tree trunk. With all of his strength, the prince pulled the tree trunk across the ground and up to the ledge. Cindy helped too by pushing as the prince pulled the trunk up. She also helped to keep the trunk steady. Eventually, the two of them got the tree trunk in place. The prince climbed down and thanked Cindy. He asked her how they were going to escape. Cindy and the prince could hear the dragon returning to the cave. Its wings were noisy as they flapped, and it landed with an earth-rumbling thud. Cindy and the prince made it out of the secret cave and hid behind a rock in the main cave. It was pitch black. Cindy and the prince couldn't see anything, but they could hear the dragon's breathing. The dragon was walking towards the back of the cave to the waterfall. Cindy worried how the dragon was going to react when it realized the prince was gone. The beast effortlessly jumped up into the secret cave and let out a deafening roar. Fire erupted from inside the secret cave, bursting through the waterfall. Cindy and the prince held their breath. Her heart was beating so hard that she worried the dragon would be able to hear it and discover where they were hidden. She closed her eyes, held onto the prince, and focused on breathing slowly and deeply for a minute or two to help her relax and focus. Breathe in and breathe out. That's it. Breathe in and breathe out, Cindy told herself. After a few minutes, they could hear the dragon walk past them and leave the cave. It seemed to think that Cindy and the prince had already escaped, and it was looking for them. After the dragon left the cave, Cindy and the prince very quietly and carefully followed. It felt good to see sunlight and breathe in fresh air. Outside the cave, Cindy called to Oracle, who appeared out of the trees. She told the prince to get onto Oracle. They had to get the prince back to his castle and let the king and queen know their son was safe. Cindy thought to herself that they would be surprised to see him saved by a small girl. Cindy gently squeezed Oracle with her feet, causing him to leap up into the sky on a rainbow and gallop off towards the castle. At the castle, the king and queen were so happy to see their son. As they entered, the queen wrapped him up in her arms so tight that the prince thought his eyes might pop out of his head. The king was also pleased to see his son. He wanted to send his finest knights out to fight the dragon. Cindy explained that the dragon was just doing what dragons do, but that the important thing was that the prince was safe. They had their son back. Cindy didn't believe animals or people should be harmed, even the dragon. She told the king that there was only one dragon in the land, so it should be looked after. The king agreed, He put in place a plan to look after the dragon that would stop it from harming anyone again. The prince thanked Cindy for saving him. He hoped he would see her again in the future. Cindy was sure they would. She called Oracle over, climbed onto his back, gave him a nudge in his sides, and they rode off into the sky on a bright and colourful sparkling rainbow, looking forward to their next adventure. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes as you continue to feel relaxed.